My name is Daniel Postma, Canada Han, and Becca Shoemaker, and for the past couple of months we've been advising and coming up with a new marketing strategy for the professional photographers of Western Michigan, which we will now refer to as Ppwm for time's sake for the rest of the presentation. The purpose of our presentation is to show the marketing strategy that we've come up with to present different issues that we have had with the organization that we think that they can change, and the issues that we think can be addressed in the next couple of months.
So this is our outline for what we're going to go through in our time. We just want to give you an introduction of what Ppwm is, some of the key issues that we found with them that were relayed to us from the rep, Karen, that we spoke with, and then some of our resolutions and solutions that we came up with for her. And then just kind of give a broad idea of our marketing strategy and with a conclusion and some Q&A. Okay, so who is Ppwm? They're a smaller group in Western Michigan, photographers professionally. When we spoke to Karen, she was very insistent on how passionate they are. They really love photography. They don't want just anybody who's picking up a camera to be in their group. They're all about anything and everything to do with photography. So that's kind of what was relayed to us through Karen about them. They really want to work on teaching new techniques. That's kind of a ground for what their group is about. They want to really bring in new technology, new things that are happening in the field, and see what's going on there. So that's just kind of a background for who they are.
We found that one of their first issues that we saw with the organization, when we met with Karen, we asked her, do you guys have an Excel sheet that we can see, specific numbers, anything like that about your budget? And she said, she kind of laughed a little, and she said, yeah, no one has time for that. And so we just figured that was one of their biggest lacks in the company, was their lack of the specific numbers. And she also said that their only type of income to the organization is their membership fees. And she said that they didn't really have any other types of income. So we decided that in order to take care of this issue, one of our greatest things was an internship, either through Kendall or Calvin or anywhere for that matter. Just an internship for someone to come in who's maybe a marketing or a business management major, and they can come in and they can manage the numbers, and they can manage and help with Ppwm. And when it comes to the income, we decided that helping with that would be a sponsorship or a partnership with other organizations or professional companies that can help them out with their income and help bring more numbers to them. And then we also said to help out permanently is maybe hire a finance assistant from Calvin or from anywhere for that matter, that they can bring them in and they can lay out numbers for, and specifically who it's going to be with and what type of budget that they're looking at. And this is just a quote that we found in one of our articles. It just pretty much says that partnership is one of the greatest, it's one of the greatest additions that you can give financially to an organization. And it just said that that's one of the greatest aspects that you can help with your income.
Okay. So another big issue that we found was the lack of membership, and even members that are currently in renewing their membership within the company. Currently they have about 30 members. Typically they're middle-aged women that this is their second job, either they're homemakers or they have another part-time job, and photography is something that takes up a great portion of their time, but not full-time. Another big problem with their membership is they do not have a lot of new members coming in. Karen spoke about getting few emails per month, just kind of asking about the group, and then never really hearing back from any of those people. So they're really lacking in a lot of interest coming in. They don't find people really coming to them for information, wondering about the group. It's just kind of really stagnant and not a lot of action going on there. And then the next problem with their membership is that members currently in have been not renewing their membership for the next year. Karen kind of spoke about how they told PPWM they're not really feeling like there's a lot of needs being met. They don't know if it's really for them anymore. They don't really see their interests being brought through in the company, and just kind of a lot of lack of interest, and no one really feeling like they want to stay part of this group. So that was a huge thing that we thought PPWM really needs to work on to get to have members like excited about renewing, new members coming in, really working on that. Another big thing Karen relayed to us was the lack of perks. Members had told her that through just dialogue with them, that they feel they really want something from this group. They don't want to just be with other photographers. They want to gain lots of information that nobody else can gain from being a part of this group, and that wasn't really happening. So she really wanted to work on that part of kind of giving a perks aspect. So going through a lot of those problems, we started brainstorming how can they get in new members, how can they keep people interested, how can they keep it exciting. A big venue that we thought would bring in a lot of people would be colleges, college-age kids. That's kind of a new thing that, you know, college-age students get their cameras and they want to start shooting. They don't have a ton of experience, and a group like PPWM with such passionate members would be a great foundation for college kids to really get into photography, learn what it's all about, not just from the internet, Googling things, and be part of a group, a bigger thing than just themselves. And due to the fact that we know college-aged kids don't have a lot of disposable income, we thought that kind of a promo for having a lower membership, reduced membership for proving that you're in college, college ID, you know, to get them in the door, get them interested, get them excited about the group, and then continue that on even after their college career once they have to pay a normal membership fee. So one of the other issues that we discussed was that people were feeling like meetings weren't really interesting, weren't about the topics that they wanted, weren't about the type of photography they're interested in. So we thought that if they started a survey of their members and really getting a good idea of what people are interested, maybe a trend of, you know, like wedding photography, senior pictures, that type of thing, what people are really interested, what they want to learn more about. And then we also thought that they could potentially start adding on fees per meeting, so then groups of the members of the group can only attend meetings that they really find valuable, instead of feeling like, I just paid this membership fee and now I'm not interested in this meeting, I don't want to go, this isn't my venue. So we thought that that could add a lot more feeling like they belong to the group. Another solution we thought would be to have an open print competition. They have print competitions throughout the year, and we really thought that if that could be open to the public for maybe a smaller fee, that would bring in a lot of people, get interested about the group, be really interested in maybe joining after they see that there's a lot of potential there. And then again, going over what Anna said about partnering with another company, we came up with an idea of maybe trying to partner with a print studio, offering maybe a discounted rate for printing your photos if you're a member of PPWM. That gives advertisement for both companies, allowing people to come into there and see 15% off for printing if you're part of this group. You know, it brings up questions and gets people interested. So.
All right, the final issue that we found is the lack of social media and internet presence, whether that be their website, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. They lack in every area. So we're going to start with their website. This is their current webpage. When we found it, we kind of found it to be a little bit dull, and it wasn't interactive at all. Actually, a lot of the tabs that you see in the top here don't actually work, as well as the photos. Although this is an organization and a group of photographers, we felt that the photography should be an important aspect. And honestly, the only photos they have on this site are either this cover photo, which is a transition from the lighthouse to the city, or group pictures of the organization. Moving on here, this is the About page. This is the page that we thought would teach us most about the organization. And what struck us here the most was actually the Why Should You Belong to PPWM section. And it gave two reasons, and it was because they have monthly meetings and they have a day-long like meeting at the end of the year where they have they bring in a person from out of state and they have a big discussion about photography. Now, for reasons to join, we thought, why would you want to join if that was the only reason? When you hear just there's monthly meetings and there's an all-day event, that's not really a turn on, especially to a younger crowd. They're like an old group of people and they want to address a younger group. So to bring more value to the organization, I think is very important. We think is very important. So I think that they need to change their strategy in that section of the website. This is their history page. It actually just gives a list of names, photographer of the year, back to 2006, and the past 2 presidents. We were never actually given an exact date as to when the organization began, but we know for a fact it now began 2 years ago. So we thought an in-depth history would actually bring a lot more depth to the organization itself. If people want to find out what the history is all about, why the organization's there, what value it's brought to the community in the past, and what potential it can bring them in their photography, we thought that this history page could actually be very important for someone who's more interested in a potential member of the organization. This is their event page. It's also just a list of the different events and the name of the person that's going to present as well as a date. This is actually very valuable to the members of the current organization, but if a potential member came in and thought, I want to maybe attend one of these meetings, I do not believe that this is enough information for them to say, yes, this meeting is going to be valuable to me, and yes, it's going to help me with my decision to join this organization. So we felt that maybe if there was a link to each section, or if there was a little bit more in-depth explanation of what the meeting would be about, then it would actually attract a lot more members. And this is also their closed Facebook group. When we previously talked with the representative, she said that this was the only group that they currently had. Members actually had it open at one point, and they felt that they weren't getting enough perks with the organization, so they wanted to close the group. So we found a couple problems with that. One, if that was also one of the perks that they thought the organization should have, then they're not actually giving enough at the meetings monthly. Also, the group's only 28 people, so it's a small group, and the majority is women. There's actually only 3 men in the organization. So by closing off the group, outside people that want to learn more about the organization don't really know about the website, and there's no link here to the website for them. They see a closed group of people, and it almost seems more cliquey than an actual organization. This is their Twitter trend. We actually found, I looked up their name on Twitter. They don't actually have a Twitter page, but they have a woman named Ppwm, who's actually a part of the organization, and she constantly talks about the organization and then links back to their new Facebook page, which I'll talk about soon. So we felt that instead of her having to do all these links, maybe if they linked their Facebook to a Twitter account that they made themselves, then they could continually update and help people and reach a lot larger crowd than just by talking to her friends about the organization. So the solution obviously would be to make a public Facebook page as well as a Twitter account and link those 2 pages together. Finally, make an Instagram account, which we think would be positive, not to Instagram like all the photos that they have, but maybe the print competition winner per month, and just to get people interested and possibly even trend an image, which I think would get them a lot more publicity and get people interested in photography, if that's what their purpose is, as well as to update their website and to link it to give people actual information about the organization. This is a quote that we used in our paper, and the summary essentially says that using social media for small businesses can actually get them to compete on a corporate level. So the target obviously is huge. There's about 1.1 billion Facebook users, 200 million constant Twitter users, and about 100 million Instagram users. So this is obviously like a huge base of people that can be targeted, and we think that Ppwm can use this vitally. This is their new open Facebook group. When we talked to the representative previously, we proposed this idea and they actually went through with it. It was made on the 19th of March. So the monthly print competition winner gets their photo put as the cover photo of the page. They also have a new brand on the page, and it updates constantly about upcoming meetings, where the meetings are going to be if the meetings change, because they usually have it at a hotel, as well as what the photographers are doing, and if there's any other photography updates that are happening. The issue that we actually did find was there's a hidden link to the website page. There is an about section, but you have to dig deeper into it to actually find the page. So we felt that it would be important to say, welcome to the page, here's a link to our website to learn more. There's also a lack of consistency with the brand issue. Now, the brand on the Facebook page is this right here, and the brand on their website is this lens, we believe it is. We found that this is a lot more youthful image, and we think it's a lot more appealing to especially people our age and people that are interested in photography at a younger age. So we felt that it's very important to have contingency, because if you went on the Facebook page and then link to their website, you might not actually think that you're in the same organization, because it is so different and so much more youthful on the Facebook side. So obviously the solution is just consistency and branding, and then to update their website. Updating their website is actually going to be very cost effective, because a person in their organization has made the website. So they don't actually have to pay anyone to do it. He just needs to spend a little bit more time on it to get it up and running and to make it more visually appealing.
So when we're talking about this, we had talked about the issues with the budget and the solution of making an actual Excel spreadsheet and getting some specific numbers out there. We talked about the memberships and the membership renewals and the new memberships, and how we're going to hopefully get some more members in there, and how we would like to broaden the age spectrum of their members. And then we also talked about the social media, which was one of our greatest issues that we felt could even help with getting younger members in there, because the younger generation, they tend to be more social media centered. And so to get the organization onto social media would help a lot with broadening their target market. And then also we're hoping to help them get their brand to be a little bit more consistent. Their current one on Facebook, we feel, is a lot more appealing than their old one. And so if they could update that onto their website, and while doing that, make their website just a little bit more modern, and make sure that they can get that a little bit more centered, would be great. We have a lot of hope for PPWM, and one of our main takeaways for the organization is that we're hoping that they can grow. Right now they feel like they're in a little bit more of like a stagnant position, and so we're hoping with our help that they can grow their membership and grow just interest in everything into the organization. And so if they can implement these ideas and they can continue to change and adapt to the various things that are coming their way, that would be great.
So we just wanted to thank PPWM for meeting with us, and we really enjoyed meeting Karen, and she was a great aid to us and learning more about the organization. Got us interested. We got to tell some of our friends about it that are photography. So we know that there's great potential for them, and that just these few things, like Anna said, that can be implemented, adapted a little bit. They're well on their way into that product life cycle of becoming, not just in that introduction stage, but just towards the growth a lot is what we're focused on right now for PPWM. So that's the presentation.
Any questions?